Heyo. Yes, we are here. See, I can't see any of this in Restream. Uh anyway, heyo. Where are we at? There. That's where we want to be. Look at that light. Can't see any chat whatsoever has come down the line. Although I know it's there because I saw it on YouTube. The typical complaint, you're late. I am late. Yeah. Panicky late. Yeah. Shadowhawk says, hello, welcome to the 4 o'clock shadow. Should be kind of Rex today. Maybe. Howder 6480, hello. Light and gay. Gable penny shot, of course. I did hear that. Carrie? Yes, Carrie in the house. There's Carrie. Hey, gents, she says. And not one comment there. You can see in Restream caught any of that. Why? I don't know. There's Mike Walters. Now that one comes up. This one here. Maybe since I started. Maybe the early stuff doesn't show up. That sucketh. That's King James. That sucketh. Anyway, Devil Flyer. That was the Devil Flyer Ashcan trailer because it's short and sweet, and I like the public donate. Did you just wake up, Rex? Yes, I did. I was in the Lazy Boy recliner with Abby in my lap and just stone cold out. Did a stream with got up early, did a stream with Randy, Russ and Randy and a couple of other people. And hey, hello, friends. Yeah, Elsie said you freaked out, Omer. Sorry about that, buddy. All's good. But yes, Gable, you pegged it. Well, not that type of pegging, but you've maybe I should rephrase that. Anyway, the 4 o'clock shadow was here. I actually woke up and looked at the phone, looked at the time, and it's like trying to figure it out in my head. I'm like, yeah, one of those cartoon noises. I think I'm a couple hours late. So, I'm like, anyway, I'm here. Did one good thing. I guess I woke up, I thought you were really mad. I just frustrated. I had prepared for the show to talk about something and couldn't quite get to it. So it's like, just give up. Call me a panty waist, a pansy, whatever. I just thought, well, we'll try this another day and we'll pick it up for where we got off. Rex is lit up. Look at that nice sunlight. I know, right? And that is very bright because of the snow that's still on the ground, although it's melting at a fast pace. I think it's still below freezing, but with that bright sunlight like that, solo Rex today. Exactly. Yeah. To get my point across. Sorry, buddy. Oh man. Sometimes you can just shake it up. I'm just jealous you can laugh out loud. I don't know, man. I've been kind of concerned about my sleep habits lately. It's like I do like the up all night and I'm course, that gave me time to think, we got this Sunday thing to look, and we were looking at something I thought was fairly interesting. The first 5 books out of 10, I looked it up on eBay. How many Mars patrols by Wally Wood were there? It started in 1965 and went to 1969. They were kind of infrequent with coming out with some of the issues, I think. But I'm surprised they came up with 10 issues of that run. Nobody like a quieter Rex. Nobody likes a quieter Rex. Okay. Party all day. Well, yeah, you usually don't forget you're pegging. Yeah, that's Gable, not me. Well, he pegged it. I was sleeping. Finally, it's like maybe too much coffee. I don't know. I kind of cut back on that, you know. Uh, after a good meal, sometimes be able to rest. Anyway, I did finish season 3 of Have Gun Will Travel. Went out there and got like a Western set of like different movies. So it's a mixture. But I'm still doing Westerns. I did put on some, as I drew a little last night. Don't kink shame me. Okay. You heard him, Omer. It's not I. Just kind of brought that up with the wrong word. Touchy point. So, anyway, I love this shirt because it says radiate and got a little, radiation cross, but it's a cross. And it glows in the dark. I charge it up like this. This thing's going to be going like Iron Man on me in a minute. It's going to be burning a hole in my chest. I love it. I've had this shirt for, early 2000s. I bought this when I worked at the Christian bookstore, which was 1999, 2000s, up into the, 2000. I did it for 6 years. Started in 99, so about 2005, I guess. 6, something in there. Spank. So put some Superhero Squad on. I was like, I don't think this is that great. At least what I got. It was like the Infinity Sword and Infinity Gauntlet type thing. Put in a couple discs. Marv. I always just call you Marv. Anyway. Hey, everyone. Just came here to say hi and wish you a great week. It's bedtime for me. Take care. Yeah. And pray for his health. He's had some health issues recently. Keep Marv in your good night, as Gable P. says, to the point and straight and succinct. Unlike my language today. I have something for you, Rex, to redeem myself. Okay. All right. He was in on my earlier. See, I can't even see the emojis. It's just like Mar V blank there till I highlight it, and then he's giving you the little hand signal. What's up? What's up? He's going to bed. It's late. I apologize for being late. I do apologize, but I was like dead to the world. Believe me. And just glad that I'm not 2 hours late. I thought, okay, what excuse can I? West Coast time. Yeah, that'll work. Anyway, I got one drawing in, and that was the 43. So I'm like this big piece of Bristol's that I have. The one, well, this is like maybe the second time that I've drawn this character. Third time I've drawn this character. So in color for Omer Glitch, he's, like that color, maybe just gray and it kind of came out orange. It's supposed to be like a yellow uniform. He is a Nazi. He's part of the 43 experiment. I'm thinking this dude's going to show up fairly early when he reassembles himself. basically like a Nazi transporter accident that scatters these Nazis through time, you know. Uh, one origin, so I don't have to tell. And it's like, hey, any of these characters that I want to be, I've got a few of them designed. I've still got a bunch. Y43, that's just the thing that knocked into my head. I could do more, I could do less. You need good villains. I need villains and I need women, in my universe. Male heroes, I mean, I've got them. And it'll take time and I'll develop more. I mean, I'm coming up with new characters all the time. Some you haven't seen. And then I've got older characters that you haven't seen either, that are been pretty key in my mind. There's one that's kind of hard to draw. Um, and I just kind of call him the tribal guy, but I figure that will be maybe Totem the tribal guy. And I've not done him yet. He's kind of, you need your little your little guides to do his helmet and stuff like that. So not all my some of my most of my characters are pretty simplistic. I think his is pretty simplistic, but when have to do that symmetrical thing, it has to look just right. We love the coloreds around here. All right, Gable. All right. So he is like a stone guy, and I'm just using also the new Azure and some of the Master Touches. Uh, you know, so it's orange, which is pretty cool to see him in kind of like yellow orange there. That's a couple blended together. It's more like a flesh tone, and then I went over with I think it's supposed to be a yellow, but it's a very dark orangey dark yellow. But that kind of puts him in a prison suit, right? Orange man bad. Uh, I was up late last night finishing up some inks on artwork. There must have been something in the air last night that kept us awake, Rex. Looks good colored. Yeah, I agree. I haven't done much colored stuff, but I am limited on that unless I break out my paint sets and stuff. I do have uh, fairly extensive Kimberly watercolor pencils. Have you ever tried that? Go over it and with your watercolor pencils and then go in with the water and do the whatever. Time for Rex to create all the villains for the nation of obliteration. Okay. Uh I need to get better at doing character turnarounds for our characters. I know it's been meaning to make some of my characters. I mean that was early on what I tried to do, and I got about 3-4 characters done. Unfortunately, I can't use any of that stuff except to show other people reference. We know why. Some of us do yellow, orange, yeah. Kind of like when you pee in the snow, maybe, and you have a lot of sugar in your system. Anyway, yes, sir. Watercolor pencils are great. Yeah. That's what Elsie was talking about yesterday. He does the graphite, and then you can get the graphite pencils or whatever. You can draw in that, and then he'll go in and he'll do like a gray wash. He'll add water to it, and he uses that quite a bit. Aren't turnarounds generally done for all character development work? Yeah, yeah, especially in animation. But what do you when you got so many characters? You know, uh, to me initially, I was just trying to get started with some of the principal characters. Although I had him do a blood dragon, but he's going to be in the first Sea Demon story. What are you going to do with that, Cable? I wonder. Cable. I'm going to start calling you Cable. Gable. Kind of like Mr. Yuck, Mr. Muck, you know, my mind just goes there. I have a small set of watercolor pencils. Haven't tried using them yet. Yeah, same here. Same here. I've got a fairly extensive Kimberly set, and I just haven't, you know, but I'm going to get my art. I'm going to get grungy, man. I'm going to, especially on this supplement, if you're going to force me to do more artwork, sequentials, and that is different than, you know, stuff like this, but still, this is a good lead up to that, doing all these. Keeps me active, and it is getting the likenesses of the characters. You know, if I were to put all the head sketches in one book that I've done during this campaign, it'd be well over 200 for sure. Of course, there'd be a lot of repeats, you know, bogs, whatever. So anyway, on the subject of, you're not going to distract me today, of grading comics, getting them slabbed. Should you do it? Should you not? I mean, we've discussed that. They do different formats. Should you do a unique book like this? This is a unique book. I think early on, this is Film Bat with the wraparound cover. That was sent to me not this Christmas, but the Christmas before last, for my Christmas and birthday present, and so that I could have reference and know the Film Bat character. In full disclosure, I have not backed Film Bat yet, but I'm going to before it closes out. I will back Film Bat when I can. But I have read this, and it is, since the way he reduced it all down, it's a little hard to read. It's not bad. It's not bad. But this is a unique, well, there's two that exist done like this. So should you encapsulate this? I've read it gingerly because I take care of my stuff, but this would be rare indeed if only two like this exist. Hand stapled, everything. Should you do something like that? Should you slab that? Never do that to that Jim. Okay, I probably won't, you know. Hey, Rex, just going to lurk here for a bit. Hey, Bone, we love you lurking. Thank you for chiming in and saying hello. Being a creative powerhouse, I suspect you'll start doing sequentials in due time. Practice makes perfect. Right. Do you have any regular watercolor? I do. I have some regular watercolor sets. Some go way back, even the little travel kind with the little bitty brush. Got all kinds of watercolor paper. I bought a bunch at Big Lots, you know, years ago. That's the thing about the paper. It's generally archival safe, and as long as you store it right, it'll last for years. I've been stocking up on, I've got enough to do like 3 floppies in Bristol, you know, like the animated pad that you showed, Omer, on your show, on your channel. I have a few of those, and I've got those. That to get a pad like that now is like about $20, right? I've got them going all the way back to like $14.99. You know, they just keep going up in price. That nice archival paper. Yeah, if I were to just have artists like do turnarounds, or if I just sit around doing turnarounds of the characters, you know, and I'll get some more made. Definitely, I would like to do something like that. I've wanted to do a character book anyway. Rare ash can, huh? Peter's rare ash can he sent me. Should he get that? You could get that slabbed. How rare is that? Glitch when I get it. 200, well, 300 issues, maybe a little bit more. You put it all together. And, a thicker book like this, Charlie's London, let's just bring it on home. This is a little digest size book that came out with the first campaign. Should you get something like that, Slab? You certainly can. But should you? No circumstances. I'm just saying you can do from the little penny comics that I was bringing up with. I wish I had one. I don't. In fact, Robert found some and convinced Overstreet that they actually existed, because they were like, well, we've never seen any. And he was, asked to be an advisor and always said no then. Bust those watercolors. Okay. When I have my space ready to sling ink, to sling watercolor and stuff like that, Shadowhawk, I hope you got my message. We didn't meet at noon. At noon. I didn't forget you, buddy, though. I sent you a message about that. We can meet before the show at your convenience, whenever, next Saturday before the show, and we can go over some stuff and it'll be fresh in your mind. And I'll be on the show too if you need any, because we're not going to be doing the Rex X and Apex show because that was this week. But yes, I will bust out colors, and it will be good to see some stuff in color. Sometimes it's just, I do want to do, something like that and see what it would look like in color. And I'm also kind of experimenting with some of the colors. I do a little test thing. I had a piece of paper and was like, okay, I thought that'd be too dark, but that works with the gray. And that is too dark, but I'll add that for heights and the eye color a little darker. It did look pretty dope with the Spider-Man wide eyes, really stood out. But I was like, we're gonna darken that out. In fact, the one page that I inked, yes, you'll get sequentials on this campaign by me, on the Bog supplement. I just had to find the Bristol pages. I found the Bristol pages that are totally blacked out. Remember, I was doing that for a while. I did about a dozen pages like this, which this might wind up for, as in the Momentum universe. I want to be a little bit more accurate. I had to go over this like 2 times at least, to get it dark and rich and smooth and whatever. If it's going to be dark, it needs to be real dark for reproduction. Maybe 3 times, whatever. But I did about a dozen of these for a while, if you remember. And this is to depict underwater. There is no light in a certain point. So, I might work out something, in that. It might be something to do with Dirty Joe, like that one piece that Shadowhawk bought. I'm thinking of selling the glitch ass cans. If make a few copies, should I send Rex a complimentary copy? I bought his ass can. He's a good guy. Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, if you want me to draw a glitch, which I only draw my own characters pretty much. I will draw some public domain stuff, like the heap. I'm still trying to think out a good version of the heap. Rex forgot about Shadow. I haven't forgot about Shadow. I found a digest says Batman at Dollar Tree today. Wow. Okay. And it wasn't that long ago, just the other day I went by there, but I didn't even check their book section. I probably should have, to see if there was anything like that there. Probably passed it right up and didn't even know it. I'm like a get in and get out real quick, a type guy. If I get the money to spend multiple items, I'll spend a little bit more time in the store. I didn't that time, and the weather's been bad, inclement weather. Can't wait to see Rex sequentials. Yeah, I need to finish those 2 Geo pages for sure. I have to, someone is kind of like doing a landing um, like the time bubble, you know, people of, uh, Terminator, you know, when they show up and it's like on all fours or whatever, naked, you know, and they arrive in the past. And there's a, you know, it's like an energy discharge. Something like that is happening in front of Geo. And I had to figure out who is appearing, you know, and exactly what I want right there. Uh, my Dollar Tree has a rearranged everything, even in the final faction comics are gone now. Just a lonely bird in the night. I'm hoping they still get the DC comics one day, yeah. But you know they're going to be, as soon as they get put out, and the people that put them out, they're not going to care. I mean, they're not going to be, they're trying to, it looks so big, yeah, vast. I mean, that's the way I see the underwater of the Momentum universe is past a certain point, light doesn't penetrate and there's only bioluminescence and everything. That's kind of why when with Sargasso, he has like a shell-shaped emblem here that lights up. He's also got a belt light. Um, I just think most underwater stuff is not realistic at all, you know. And I think working against a total black background uh, would be interesting for an underwater type thing. But you kind of have to suspend reality just so you can see the figure in the dark water, you know. But I had to find my other 11 by 17. I've got the packets of the Blue Line cover sheet art boards here, and I've got some more of those in there, but I have to find just the blanks, you know. And then I've got pads, as I said, stacked up on shelving in there. But I'm kind of wanting to use the Blue Line right now. And I, I got some from Vic. He sent me like 15 pages, a blank. I said, well, send me 10 blank pages because you owe them to me. You know, you were supposed to do me a 10-page story. I want 10 blank Bristol pages, even if they're that rough quality stuff he's used. He's, you know, used some nice stuff in the past, but yeah. Anyway, so I said yesterday, and this is in the way because it was down here and it slid off. I've still got stuff down there to get. Where to put this? Where it will do no harm. There. Okay. So I have a short list of books here. Certainly I could go on and on and on showing you books that I could have graded. That doesn't mean I'm going to have them graded. Oh, and you want to know, before I forget, before we get into looking at a whole bunch, you want to know what my and I'll take it out of this sleeve. It just came in this sleeve here. The only book that I've ever sent off to get graded, but not the last. And this will probably be going up for sale on eBay because I do have it the Batman Adventures number 12, first appearance of Harley Quinn, reproduced. There's the back with the Death of Superman by Roger Stern. I have a bunch of Roger Stern. I call it the Roger Stern collection. So it's on sale in 1993 there. This book came out in September 1993. Isn't that right? So small. '93, yeah. Newsstand edition. So they do have that on there, which is less than 1% or around 1% of the print run is the newsstand editions. Oh, at this time in 93. First appearance of Harley Quinn in comics. Ha ha. Says it right there. I'm looking at this for the very first time with you. Yes, I can see the grade, but I was wondering, did they put that on this? Yes, they did. I like the gold embossing here, the CBCS on the blue label. Batgirl, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman appearance. Light and dark cover versions exist. I guess that's due to ink, you know. This does not say if it's light or if it's dark. I would say this might be light. Yeah, I knew it had a slight breakage of color, uh, bend in it. I mean, very slight. I did have it cleaned and pressed. What it meant by cleaned, I don't know. I can see under the light, 3 little dinks there, maybe a fourth one there. Very, slight. I mean, that one, just a tinge of breakage of color. Anyway, drum roll, please. What did my first graded book, CBCS, get? And I spit on the case. Drooling. Anyway, I got this. How did I acquire this? First appearance of Harley Quinn. I think the labels, I was telling you the labels peel off of those. Sometimes, it just eventually. This top label, and it does say that, Batman Adventures #2, and it tells you the grade and says newsstand edition. It is encapsulated in that. I like that. No more peeling off of the top. How did I acquire this? First appearance of Harley Quinn. Outside of DC continuity, they make a distinction, but in a comic book, like I said, they had a coloring book that was prior to the release of this. They also had a small book with a cassette that was prior to this. That's kind of but I mean, standard size comic book, I don't know. There's always got to be controversy about first appearances sometimes. Wolverine 180, 181, although, everybody's kind of settled that. In 97, when I bought out the comic book store, this is one of the books I got and have held on to for over 30 years now. And it was a good one to hold on to because it is barcode. And I have some other early, they're all boxed up, early appearances of Harley in the Batman Adventures. I don't have his second appearance. I looked that up. I think I've got a couple copies of her third appearance in comics. So anyway, drum roll, please. CBCS. What did it grade? I called it what I thought it would be. I thought no less than a 7.5, but I called it on stream more than once. I figured that it would come back an 8.5, and it did. Just eyeballing it. Did I go through it just knowing how I took care of the book and whatnot, and the slight things? Maybe you catch the light there right above Harley, about right in here. You can see something there. I mean, not pretty nice copy. And here by Batman's foot, you can see something else. Just, I did have it pressed. I did have it cleaned. Now, what they mean by cleaned, who knows? But I mean, for this type of offer, 65, was it $65? $65? $60? I think it was 60. It was $60, I think, to do this from the local comic book shop. I thought, oh crap, what if it's a scam? What if I don't get it back? Actually got it back fairly quickly. I mean, less than 4 months, I think. Maybe about 3.5 months. That's the great thing about going with CBCS. The wait time was not that great. So nice looking copy, all protected, you know, even the top there encapsulated. Love that because I'm always hated that peeling off, you know. If you get the case cracked or something, and I've actually bought some, I've actually cracked some or sold some books. It got cracked in postage, had them send it back, and I refunded their money. So now I'm got a crack, but you can send them back in and get them redone for cheaper. Anyway, my short list, there's that. My short list, of course, some of this you've seen before, but uh, first appearances, especially beloved books, and I've got like over 10 copies of this, in some in better shape than others. First appearance and the only appearance in the blue and white costume of Thunder Bunny from Charlton Bullseye Run. Uh, and he was the only character to be in 2 issues before this was canceled, because it was more like you had a horror issue, a funny animals issue, superhero type. The very first issue was the Blue Beetle and Captain Atom on the cover. And of course, that caught my. I knew the characters, and it's like, oh, and something different other than Marvel. And so Charlton's quality on paper, I had to have it, so I got it. The next issue, I looked for it. Funny Animal. Didn't buy that, but the later ones, like the horror and the Barbarian issue and uh other stuff. They had like a female trio that was really cool, had a rock monster on the cover. Very cool. uh I bought most of these Charlton Bullseyes because I would pass up Charlton books for the most part. How many, Steve? This is number 6, by the way. So first issues, that's on my short list, and this would be a fun one to get graded because I think it's an under rated book. They did do a crowdfunder on Indiegogo, and it got about 3,000 something dollars support. This characters went to Warp Graphics, Apple Comics, all over there. You know, Archie series. I showed one recently with Archie series on the cover where he's with uh, oh, the MLJ characters like the Shield, from Pep Comics and all that. Old books like this. Now, this one does have a detached cover, and I did look it up. At least under CGC, you can only get, as the highest grade you're going to get is 3.5. Actually, I was pretty shocked that you could get a 3.5 because this glue gets old over time. This cardboard stiff cover doesn't give like the insides. It pops off. But now this is actually, you damage this cardboard, you're going to get breakage of color, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, um, Interesting that the Superman symbol's different there. Got that for a pretty good price, 145.19. That's with shipping. In number 6, I was wrong. I looked up World's Finest today, 96. It was called America's Best Comics, and they got a cease and desist. DC Comics did, and had to desist from using that name. So with issue 2, it became World's Comics, which this comic kind of came out of the 1939, 1940 World's Fair type promo book that they gave away at the World's Fair. And I think it was up in New York at that time. Nice patriotic cover. That's on my short list. I don't know. Should you do a detached cover, a book like that? Yeah, I mean, I was saying that was actually the 4th issue, but it's not. Only the first issue was called something different, not the first 2. So that would have been like the 5th issue to be under that World's Finest that ran up to 1986 and then it was canceled, I was reading it all the way up to the end of its cancellation. I kind of got on it and stayed on it, and it was sad that it got canceled, you know. But there were so many, like Adventure Comics got canceled, you know, a couple years prior, but in '83, I think it was. One of the travesties of comics. Promo books, like let's see, this is a Bay Huey number 13. The guts of it in the inside, 1958. Near mint minus, I only gave $10.62 for that. Price, you got to look at price. I do like this, very colorful, and it's a white sensitive cover. These things yellow over time. This came out of the Harvey warehouse, so, and they were kind of touted as, but now, when you find stuff like this, there may be pallets of it, so it may not be that expensive. But I think this would be a nice one to encapsulate, especially if you have multiple issues. You know, Baby Huey, not really a Baby Huey fan, but now the best thing about this comic is the cover. You know, it has the Superman type thing, got the sci-fi thing, the animals, the rocket, the cowboy, the Indian there with the flag. You know, it's just got a lot going for it. Love these covers. And I've got one like that that has the Phantom, Lee Fox Phantom in that. Um, I'm sorry, I'm behind on the chat. It wasn't rolling for me. Rolling Utah Toy Hunter. Hello. Hello to you. Let me catch up here. Hey, Tree Goblin. Hey, Hex Allen. Quantum Age Comics. How are you? Sorry to hear about your Dollar Tree being rearranged. Just a lonely bird in the night sky. Yeah, I had a bunch of Final Faction toys, but I only found 2 comics, and I bought over 40 of those comics. Must be way behind there. Let's see. Rolando Toy Hunter. Didn't even see you there. Made a comment, but Shadow saying hello. Caleb Reynolds, hello. For the price of a grading, you could have gotten a different cheap key. That's true. That's true. But now I have this material in the trade paperback. That's good enough for me for that early Harlequin stuff. I don't have. I've made my money back from the sale of other items in there. 8.5 is solid. I think so. I think so. And to be less than 1% of the print run, or about 1%, uh, you know, it's good to see you, Tree Goblin. Took them 3 years to grade my kids' Pokemon cards. Wow. That's way too wow. But you know, the Pokemon cards, um, yeah, you can get some cash for those things, especially the rare ones. The Death of Batgirl live on the 4 o'clock shadow. Okay. There's a collector on YouTube that sells keys on stream. He calls them claim sales. You post in chat if you want it and then fill out a form on the website. Good stuff too. Called Mint Hunter Comics. Uh, yes, Mint Hunter Comics. I actually used to watch him when I was getting on YouTube, and for a while, I think I finally subscribed to him. I found another one of his videos. It's like Comic Tom. I watched him for a while, and then it just got, you know, too much for me, and it was like, yeah, I never subscribed to him. I was a little bit more pickier then. Maybe I should have. That's some nerd shit. I won't buy slabs. Not going to annoy Rex today. Um, okay. I mean, don't buy slabs. I bought comics that I did not have. Now I turned around and sold them, but I mean, for like the best deal on a slab books on auction, $6.50, $6.50. You can't even get it graded for that. So why wouldn't you? At that price, why wouldn't you buy it? Well, it's in a slab. I can't read it. There's videos on how to crack it open if that's what you want to do. Was $6.50 cheaper than you could get the book? It was a Silver Age, one of those hero books, the superhero book that the first Guardians of the Galaxy came out with. I think it might have been the issue prior to that, which had a Dark Knight story. No, not Batman. Uh, promo books run less. You might want to preserve history. I've got multiples of these. Gordon Bread presents Flash Gordon Comics #2. Flash faces the rocket bombers. These were probably stuffed in. I don't know how they were presented. Maybe they were there next to the Bread one and it said take one. Non-glossy cover, multiple panel story, get right into it. Probably Alex Raymond artwork. I don't know. I haven't really checked that out. But promo book generally runs lesser in price. The first appearance of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was a Woolworth giveaway in 1939 and was, as a promo book. Didn't become really popular till the, Gene Autry song and then the remake, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This is a Canadian, this is on the Gerber scarcity list. I paid Kirby Publications, no, not Jack Kirby, scarce book, less than 20 exist on the Gerber list. This is probably the only time you're going to see this book. I bought it off eBay, of course. $192.49 is what I gave for this book. And I just liked it because look at those colors, just the way it was printed and everything. Dead End Crime Stories, 52 pages, 10 cents. I don't even have the year here. But damn. But I love the cover so much and the way they did the colors and everything, the subject matter, that I dropped almost $200 on it. Rare book indeed. Very scarce. Should I read this? I would not slab it, and I would not slab something and not read it. I mean, if it's this rare. This is definitely on my short list to preserve. But I might want to just rag it out and read the hell out of it. Now, you don't necessarily have to encapsulate it. If you want to know what a book, and this is a black sensitive cover, this black ink never really dries. I bought this one for $2.75 along with a bunch of others. This book came with some that were not graded. You say, well, that's not slabbed. Well, CBCS offers that service there. They will grade it without slabbing, a rough grade. They don't check it for any restoration. That's the thing of it. So this is an 8.5 Crisis on Infinite Earth, and it is newsstand, which it really doesn't really matter at this point if it's newsstand or direct. But 8.5, they're saying if we graded this and there was no restoration and whatnot, didn't even know they did this. So if you want to kind of know, well, if I did have this, they could take a quicker look at it without going through all the things. Has it been restored in any way? Was there like a loss of color and somebody took like Homer Glitch and he took and colored in? I've got first appearance of Ant-Man in his costume, that great Kirby cover where the guy's reaching down, foreshadowing. And one of my favorite colors of all time. It's got some loss of cover down here, and somebody graded in, blended it real nice, but that's going to come back restored. I would never get that one slabbed, and I love it so much, that I wouldn't want to do that to that book. So there's certain books that I wouldn't want it. They're newer books and stuff. No, you don't want to do that. Although that book is over 30 years old, the Harley Quinn book, it's still considered modern book. And you have to watch out on eBay. You just do with certain things. Crossover, remember when that was coming out? Donnie Cates wrote this. They were speculation was crossover going to be Marvel, DC, and maybe Image crossed over into a story. McFarlane cover. I got the full sent to me. I paid to get a 9.8 of this slab from the guy. He said, well, you'll have to wait till they come back. I never heard from the other guy again. Wasted $50. Thank you. I know who you are. I will find you. Anyway, I did get either that or maybe I bought this at the local comic book store. Maybe I got nothing from him. But this was a full version of it. So that's why I'm saying maybe not with Spawn on the cover, McFarlane Spawn. I was getting like maybe the first 6 issues of this at my local comic book shop and all the different variant covers and stuff. If it was crossover, I was, because it was a buzz book at the time. Incomplete books like this one, nice Bob Powell cover, gorilla cover. I'm going to have Russ Leach do me a gorilla cover here of Midnight in the Roustabouts pretty soon. Yes, gorilla cover in Minecraft. Yes, I know who you are. I know where you live. Anyway, this is incomplete inside. It's got something cut out or something. You can get very nice looking books for a lot cheaper if it messes with the story and it's got something cut out. And I mean, let's face it, 99.99999% of the time we're just looking at the covers anyway. And if it's got a nice ad on the back, of course. I got $30.28. It says Good Plus 1953 incomplete with Bob Powell cover. This is an incomplete book. I don't have a lot of incomplete books. I bought just detached covers because somebody might need that cover. And some of the covers are so dope and they're so old and whatnot. If they're not in great shape, you may not want to, spend a lot. Portions, like if you got Action Comics, anything, like page 32 with an ad on it, and that's no Superman, no any other feature. Maybe it's just an ad page. Now flip it around, there might be some sequential artwork on there. But should you get portions like that? People get that slabbed and yeah, they make money on it. So because people want to own a piece of history. I just want to I would like to have something from Action Comics #1. I do in the way of production artwork. Kind of down the road and related. Anyway, I bought this for $5. Knew it was a deal. Didn't know how good a deal till I actually looked it up in the guide or what actually is going on in eBay. There was a poor condition. This is better than poor condition. This is the modern day Hellcat. She became Patsy Walker, romance comics for a long time, and this was a spinoff title. She was in more than one title. Atlas there, early Atlas. This Atlas symbol hadn't been around a long time when this book came out. I think this is 1953. Sports related cover, so that makes it a little bit more desirable. Yes, look at those legs, folks. A poor one they had on there, and it's no longer there. Maybe somebody bought it. A poor copy, they wanted 125 for that. So what could you get for this? Maybe a few hundred. I paid $5 for it. Sight unseen. I said, buy it, Elsie. Buy it for me. I want that. Because I'd looked into Patsy Walker and her books go for something. And yeah, this being that old, being Atlas, yeah, I knew it's going to make my money back. Probably slab that and sell it. I've got no interest in it. Why not slab it and sell it? Now, a Golden Age book is going to grade more. Like Silver Age book, this book here, nice shape. I bought this sight unseen on eBay. Took a chance and definitely got my money's worth. Paid $140.50 for this. The first Silver Age appearance. Keep it in a Mylar here so we can do away with some of the glare here. It's got, I was thinking maybe this was sticking paper. I think this is actually loss of cover up here, the color. But other than that, you had to look very carefully. At one time, a glass was put on this twice because there's very faint, very faint. Now that's going to hurt a book like this, especially with CGC, I'm told, and probably if we're grading it correctly, probably CBCS as well. Water damage. That is something that CGC is anal about. But 1962, I believe, first Silver Age appearance of Hawkman, Joe Kubert cover. Classic stuff here. Brave and the Bold. Brave and the Bold issue, which is very hard to see. I believe 74. Or is it earlier? 34. Is it 34? Yeah, it definitely needs a pressing, but is in very nice shape for that price that I gave for it. You get this slabbed, it could become, come back on a, pretty good grade. It could be. The one thing that throws the thing in it is maybe water damage. And it's so slight. You get this press, you probably wouldn't be able to, you'd have to look at it under a microscope. Fortunately, the condensation or whatever wasn't more on this book. Could be an $800 book. You get it slabbed. So why wouldn't you? You got 140, 50 in it. I mean, it's a key book. You can look. They've got a bunch of these on there. But now, okay, let me put that back to Mylar. But yeah, this is on my very, very short list to have graded. The only thing that would concern me, of course, it's a live and learn type thing. And I have this stuff in reprint stuff. I've actually got production artwork of reprints of this thing. First time Joe Kubert had drawn Hawkman in, just Hawkman by himself in a title since probably 1950s. Probably about a decade, which is kind of interesting because he drew Hawkman even in the Golden Age in the 40s. So nice legacy character with Joe Kubert, kind of like Sergeant Rock. This one was given to me LZ years ago in 1987. I believe the book came out. First appearance of Shoney from Shoney's, Big Boy. They came out with the bear. This is the very first giveaway, and I've kept it in. This is probably my number one book that I want to have slabbed and preserved because the guts, let's face it, activities, games, maybe a little story, something. I mean, look at it, read it, whatever, appreciate it. And I want to preserve it though, the very first one. And I've been able to keep it in near mint shape. If I get this thing graded, and Big Boy comics are not that expensive to get. Spider-Man's been on the covers. Superman's been on the covers with Big Boy. Things like that, historical figures. I've got one with George Washington crossing the Delaware, I think, or something like that with Big Boy on the cover. These were given away. Kids, I mean, what was the print run? But how many survived? They probably went out to most of the stores. They probably pretty high on the print run of these things, non-glossy cover. But how many have survived? I've kept this in the shape it was given to me for over 30 years, 35 years, something. Are you and LZ still actively buying or just selling now? he's buying. I'm not really buying that anything besides Spawn at my local comic shop. Maybe something to show on here. When I go in there and go, well, that's interesting. I can afford that. I got the Justice League Unlimited #2 because I thought I'd like the cover and would like to do something like that. It had like Gargle or, you know, I don't know. It was just something, I picked up. Seal up the production art in an archival frame and you're good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the hard cases, definitely a good way to go, like Shadowhawk was talking about. The hard cases. That's a good slab. He says that's the way he slabs his. Yes, absolutely. Okay, this is on my short list. I have 3 copies. This is definitely on my short list. I just like to preserve one and know that I have a copy that's preserved. The first appearance of Devil Flyer on a cover and Hopper, Tribulation Task Force from Starcross Comics. And I paid for them to be on the cover. I think this Hercules looking character there with the fist, which I think it actually is. This is a George Perez homage cover. He's the one. There's Catman and Kitten. There's Man of War. There's Blue Beetle next to Devil Flyer. I do like the coloring of that, how he kind of did that. And Hopper. I think they're 2 of the most interesting characters out of all these on the cover. In fact, I think may I go out on a limb and say they are the 2 most interesting looking characters in all these heroes. I think. This thing. So I've got 3 copies of this, and I'd like to at least get 1 slabbed. There's 2 of my 3 copies. Double covers, or if you have a triple cover, or if you have a quadruple cover. I had a Superman book that had 4 covers on it. Error book. This is, I believe, the double cover, and it's unique as a double cover. It's the very first Wizard Ace edition to come out from Lightning Comics. Some Trent Canuga goodness. Creed #1. Acetate cover, but double cover. I bought a bunch of these when Wizard was going out of business, and out of all of hundreds of copies, not just the Creed issue, but others, these are, so, you had to get one of these. You had to purchase, your shop had to purchase at least 100 issues of Wizard. Well, most shops, yeah, I mean, Wizard was popular. Probably didn't go over 2 issues. So the most that a comic shop would get of one of these given to them free for ordering, not really free. They had to have a subscription to over, it's maybe 2. I was paying $15 when these came into my local comic book shop. Now they're more plentiful because they had a dump of these out of their warehouse. But around that time, maybe 3,000, 4,000 in existence. Comic book shops. Most comic book shops wasn't selling that many Wizards. So, but this is and it's overlaid so nicely, but this is a double cover. The plastic stuck together. It's amazing. As many as I bought of these, that there wasn't more that got double covers, but rarity. They would grade the inside cover would be the final grade. I saw one that had 6 covers on it. Hello, Salacious Rum. It's good to see you. I know it's late there in the UK. I think I own a Creed is the 3rd issue run from Lightning Comics. Oh, all I own is Creed. Yeah. I didn't get much Creed either. Hopper is that pink big headed character. Yes. Tell me more. Yes. Hopper's pretty cool. You'll be seeing more Hopper. I've got to work Hopper in more. There's a Lady Hopper, as well. Here is, and I'll show you as comparison. I've shown these before. I paid a premium for this book. I paid $55.97. I originally paid 35 cents for it off the stands. There's the George Perez homage cover. So Devil Flyer would be here where Hercules is, and Hopper would be there where a little bit different where Hawkman is. The Beast on the table. Always prominent. That was probably why I love that. I love her as a character. Bride of. But classic cover, and I wanted it in near mint shape to go with you know, the first appearance there as a comparison. I might get a reader copy or something of this. I might even have it in trade paperback already. But there is like nothing like owning your childhood and the floppies, you know. But this would be great slabbed, both of these slabbed next to each other, you know, just as a comparison. I mean, it's the first time Devil Flyer was on a cover and Hopper there. First time. And he gets right next to Blue Beetle. How cool is that? Now they can't use the name Blue Beetle because he's played. It's copyrighted by DC Comics, so but the character can be used. He's in public domain. So the original Golden Age Blue Beetle there, called the Blue Scarab in this. You got Man of War there, the guy with the red fin on there, and you got Catman and Kitten. Those are public domain characters. All the other are like their Christian character things, creations. And I think visually they're two of the most interesting, if I do say so myself. All right, let me get rid of this. I like to do this as a joke. Oh, did you see the color guide to Avengers number 4? First appearance of anyway. Anyway, I love to do that as a joke. I have it. I'm the only person on the planet that does have it. Devil Flyer blue and yellow. Yeah, I kind of like that iteration. They asked me the characters' names, and then they didn't even anywhere in the book credit and call them by name. Say, you know, they didn't even acknowledge the people that had paid, you know, to get them on the cover. All right, so these are by no means all. You know, I have shown in the past, don't know where it is right at the moment, but the one where Jack Kirby and Joe Simon is on the true crime. It's not true crime, but it's Headline Comics, 1947, depicts, it's a photo cover with Jack Kirby as a thief being caught by the police officer, which was his partner, Joe Simon, artist, writer, on the cover. Had to have that. Waited for 2 years to get that on eBay. Never seen it. Show it again. This is the first costume color, from what I understand. No, it's not. That's not how he colored it the way he wanted to. I like the color combination, but he did not. Because I sent him color samples and he ignored it. Even Hopper was meant to be more orange-like, and he came out magenta, but I like the magenta. He probably did that because it was a complex cover, and I don't know. It was colored the way it was colored, you know. And he even put, for Devil Flyer, because it's nowhere in the book, and this character here that has nothing to do with a parakeet, he put a parakeet on the soldiers on his shoulder, and Devil Flyer is looking down at the parakeet, very menacing looking. If you notice on his shoulder, a little green and white parakeet there. Devil Flyer's looking at the bird. How cool is that? There you go. Second look, Homer. Green energy wings. Just he did get that part right. But yeah, blue and gray costume originally. He spiced it up a little bit. He did get the power, you know, emanations. At least Hopper's doing something. Everybody else is standing around. Yeah, he's got a flaming head like Firestorm, but at least Hopper's doing something. At least Devil Flyer's doing something. He's looking at that little parakeet, and it only appears on that cover. I got Matt Martin, First Snowman from Hall of Heroes somewhere. Um, I don't know that I've got any Matt. I've got some early Matt Martin. I've got a lot of that Hall of Heroes. That's my jam. I like the independent stuff, the rare independent stuff. I'm not going to take all these out of the sleeves. Some of them don't have sleeves to protect them. I've tried to sandwich them very nicely in here so that they don't get scuffed and scratched. One of my favorite books of all time, and I see on this one a printing error, right off the bat, which I kind of hate. But it's there. On other issues, it wouldn't be. A Marvel 2-in-1 50 came out April 1979. John Byrne's story. John Byrne and Joe Sinnott artwork. George Perez and Joe Sinnott cover. Where the Thing goes up against the Thing. And man, is it a story. This book was featured in Meatballs, the movie, quite prominently. He's flipping through it in a long dialogue scene. 9.6 on this one. Somehow, and here is the printing inclusion where the ink didn't quite do right. See that white spot on the Thing's back? But a nice copy, and love this. One of my favorite books. Just the inks, the way they made them look and everything. Just great stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, I'm going into my stash here, and I'll have to redo this all. I've got a couple of copies of this. I don't have a lot of doubles. I bought these from Robert. Didn't even know who Greg Capullo was, or Stephen Platt, rather. Didn't know who Capullo was for a while. Supreme Volume 2, number 25. Here's some Image Jam from 1994. I do have 2 copies of this in 9.8. Yeah. Stephen Platt cover. If you like that Image stuff, there you go, buddies. Supreme versus Supreme on the cover. It's Hammer time. What happened to Youngblood? Label on the outside. Get with it, CGC. They're supposed to be the standard. I tried to sandwich these in, the ones that had bags and that didn't have bags. I'm short on supplies. Not the second Platt book. Okay, so this is her third appearance. X-23's third appearance from 2004. Joe Costata cover. This is the lighting. Joshua Middleton cover. Meh. And not the greatest grade. 9.0. Third appearance, though, of this character. Nice cat cover. You cat lovers out there. It's nice. It's kind of a nice, almost like Catwoman type cover. It's very slinky. Supreme has been in every single dollar bin I've ever looked at. Laugh out loud. Yeah. I'd gotten, a bunch of Supreme. When I stuff I would have never got. Got a lot of Image stuff when I bought that comic shop out. Guess I'm lucky I have a copy, can read anytime. Wow, it's just you. Wow. It's whatever. Amazing. Just he would outlaw slabbing if it was up to Shadowhawk. Totally outlawed. No use for it whatsoever. Okay. But then he'll admit, oh yeah, maybe it actually copies number 1, stuff like that. Preserve, key issue. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. One of my favorite Beast covers of all time, 9.6. Beast becomes an Avenger in this issue. Yes. My first, I started collecting Avengers 10 issues after this with 147. This is 137. Steve Englehart's story. He was still writing it when I got on the Avengers. John Romita cover. So I guess he did the pencils and the inks. George Tuska and Vince Coletta art inside. But yeah, the Beast. Look at that. That's when the Avengers were the Avengers, man. Hell yeah. And the character I would come and love, he gets main status on the cover. Once more, the Order challenges. Enter Moondragon, Yellow Jacket, and the bludgeoning beast, something like that. I don't know. Didn't even know he was an X-Men. To me, he was always an Avenger. And then they started talking, Gangway, an Avenger coming through. Yes, he becomes an Avenger in this issue. Hell yeah. Great John Romita Sr. cover. 9.6. Do I have a raw copy of this? No, I don't think I do. But I know I got a 9.6 here. And I've got that stuff in reprint form. But I'll probably get the floppy reader. You can always get a lesser copy to read. Avengers number 100, Barry Windsor Smith cover. What is that? Now, this is, you can tell it's not as big, the grade. 8.0. 8.0. Avengers Assemble. And we do mean assemble. Yeah, Barry Windsor Smith. Look at Hawkeye there. I kind of like that costume for Hawkeye, actually, that he wore for a while. Number 100. I also have a magnet of this up on my refrigerator. Sorry, I'll play nicer. Okay. The first Supreme was awesome. I've gotten some Supreme. I've read some Supreme. Supreme has been in every single dollar bin. Okay. Well, I mean, good reading, I guess. I mean, it was better than some of the early Image stuff. 9.8. Shadow Man number 6. Bob Hoss story. Steve Ditko cover. Steve Ditko did work for Valiant. Steve Ditko insides with Gonzalo Mayo doing the inks on the inside. Skull cover here. It does have a couple skulls here on the cover, although they're very slight. 9.8. Steve Ditko cover. Look at that. See the skulls down there? Trying to get him with a hatchet, with a cleaver, rather. And again, what did I get for this? Probably not a lot, but I didn't have it in my collection, and it's like, oh, okay. I don't think so. I've got a lot of early Valiant stuff. I don't know, but something like this is like, well, I can't read it. It's slabbed. Okay, well, it may motivate you to actually get one that's not slabbed. But Steve Ditko cover, one of his latter covers. Why in mainstream comics? Why not? If you can call that mainstream. Avengers 139. Yes. Another great beast in Love Whirlwind. Love this cover, man. Look at that. This is when comics were exciting. Bronze Age. Hell yeah. When they were building upon all that hard work they did in the 60s, in the Silver Age. Again, very small grade, older one here. 99.6. So I got some high grade Avengers, but I just can't read them. I can't, trade paperbacks. So I think it was worth it. Expensive, but the quality was amazing. And leads and extra stretch goes, artwork, cards, badges, etc. The package was so heavy. That baby was dear. I wanted to do the Power Ranger Kickstarter from a year ago, but by the time it was a thing, it had already ended all. Did I miss something? Oh, okay. Salacious got a nice collectible recently, a Kickstarter from Skybound Comics. Every single G.I. Joe comic reprinted. Oh, yeah, man. I saw that. That was I featured that on the show when I first saw that on X. Those look dope. Reprinted in 5 full gilded edge leather bound compendium in a huge presentation box. G.I. Joe Kickstarter was mighty tempting. Exactly. Supreme tacos for Taco Bell are great. Regular tacos for me. Yes, they are great. Fight me on that. I generally don't have money to eat out, so I get the Taco Bell and I do it with taco meat. I mean turkey meat and make my own tacos. Cheaper. Yeah, you got something nice there. Really looks nice. Presentation. Another Platt 9.8 Supreme. Same issue. I bought 2 at a time. I remember what I gave for these. Slab, $25. Maybe $1 being book, but Stephen Platt, and that's why he was pushing it. You know, it's like, oh, Stephen Platt, he's really becoming something, whatever, you know. Was I taking $25? You can't even get a slab for that now. 9.8s. Image Comics. I bought Image slab books. How about that? One of my favorite books of all time. They reproduced this in one of the big Treasury editions of where I first saw it. Timothy Olsen in the house. Those issues. What issues? Power Rangers. PGA World. This label is wrong. Says Dale Comics. Dale. February 1959. This is not a Dale book. It's not from 1959. So will I have this reslabbed? Maybe. I'll probably lose some on the grade. If I do have this reslabbed, I'm cracking this open or have it cracked open, whatever. And I'm looking through it first. There's the back. But yeah, this is from a lesser grading company. Who knows if they're even in there? Bought this off eBay years ago. Gave a little over $100 for it. Not much for considering what it is. Well, what is it, Rex? Show us. Suspense. You got to build suspense. Fantastic Four number 13. First appearance of the Watcher. Who's he? Go watch Superhero Squad. He was in one I watched recently. And the first appearance of Red Ghost and his Super Apes. And the first time Fantastic Four go to the moon. They actually make it from what they were trying to do in issue 1. Dun, dun, dun. 5.0, they say. Very good, fine. Might not get that high if you have it regraded. Might get higher, you know, especially if you get it pressed, cleaned, whatever. Who knows? I'd like to see what it would grade. But they say 5.0. You let me know. The earliest Fantastic Four issue I have, unless that other 0.5, which looks like very fine plus issue, it's only missing the back cover. I bought a 0.5. Annual number 1. Fantastic Four annual number 1. Let's start another thing here. Eric Larson, hate his politics. But love the distress cover here, the retro cover here. 2013. This is spotted up. I spilled some stuff on it. That's why you put them in there. $75.73. Signature Series CBCS, signed by Eric Larson. Savage Dragon, issue 188. With Daredevil, the original Daredevil, and the claw, the yellow claw. Nice book. Like that. Like that retro type cover. Oh, here it is. I wondered where I put this. I put it away with my other graded books. Here we go. Headline Comics, number 37 from August, September of 1949. Jack Kirby photo cover, which unfortunately, yeah, it's Joe Simon as the police officer. And they don't give him credit. But anyway, older CGC graded book, 5.5, John Severin and Vic Donahue artwork inside. Jack Kirby is a young man and is a thief, stealing pearls and stuff. And that's Joe Simon out of frame there. Don't get to see his face. Sorry about the glare. But I waited 2 years. I spent, if I remember right, $307.50 for this. Waited 2 years for one of these to pop up. Not been that many graded. Of this. And 5.5 for this older book, that's pretty good grade. Yeah, I've been looking for this. What did I do with that? Well, it was in the box the whole time. But Timothy Olsen don't have this issue. Just saying. That I'd want to keep protected, you know. Speaking of Hall of Heroes presents Zero, March 1997. That's a later Hall of Heroes. First Salamandroid cover. Eat your heart out. It needs to be pressed. This one needs to be opened up and pressed, and I guarantee you this would get a higher grade. 8.0. I paid $145.59 not that long ago, a few years ago. First appearance of Salamandroid on a cover. But now if you could catch it right, there you see the bend right there, the glare. That needs to be pressed out. I don't think any breakage, and it's a pretty significant bend. Slight, like that Harley Quinn. Breakage of color. You might get an 8.5, you might get a 9.0. You know, the difference in Ethan Van Sciver cover. Got it. It's beautiful. Yeah. And even if you didn't get this particular one where he's on the cover, this book don't come up that often because they're rare. And to get a slab one, yeah. I'm just glad I could do it. Even if you don't, and it's got that early snowman. Look at that. The ads of what they were doing. You would still get Salamandroid on the ad, even if it was another cover. I actually got one of these books, and they said, well, we can't find it. I want it for like $7.50, but they refunded my money. And it didn't have the salamander cover, but it had another. I guess maybe they found out what these things are worth or something. Maybe they really did lose it. Missed out on that one. Anyway, that I forgot I had this. Bought that maybe about 3 years ago, something like that, 2 years ago. Later, I'll have a great stream. Take care, Homer. Got it. It's beautiful. Yeah. Oh, and then, yes, I think this is beautiful. And they don't even mention. See, look how clean. Look at that. Fantastic Four. First time they reprinted Fantastic Four #1. It's even got the side paper on it. That's not missing. That's not missing. Not even on the ends. 25 cents. A lot to pay for a comic when all the comics were like 12 cents, but it was an annual. 1963, early Marvel here. First time, only a 0.5. But look at that. I had to go up to about $1,000 on eBay. Early cover appearance of Spider-Man. They are done by Kirby. If you want to know how Kirby would draw Spider-Man, there he is. That's one of the first times he did it and reproduced it on a Marvel book right here. Picked this up at my local comic shop. I think it was what I paid for it, $110. So that's mine. You never see these things, not even in, poor shape anywhere. Are you kidding? I mean, and I thought it would be cool just to say I own a 0.5 as a joke, but in this condition, the only thing that's wrong with it, very neatly, it even has on the spine, like I say, I don't know how it happened. Maybe it wore there, but it lost the back cover. You're missing an ad and maybe an inside ad. What? I would rather see this, the last page of Fantastic Four #1, which they don't even say up in here, which is so much critical stuff. And this book here has so many pinups. Early Spider-Man appearance, origin of the Submariner, 15 pinups by Jack Kirby. First appearance of Lady Dorma and Krang. First appearance. It's got a couple first appearances. Yeah. I mean, I love how they did this on the Spider-Man annuals and all the Strange Tales annual and stuff at this time, to own one of these things, even in a 0.5. Are you kidding? It's missing a back cover. So what? I get to look at the great original lumpy, purple outfit thing. Wonderful story. Wonderful. If there's one book I want to get graded or ungraded, it's Fantastic Four #1. Marvel's first book. Because the cover's awesome. The story's great. Jack Kirby. It's just great stuff. I think I'm going to price Hollow Hero Salamore Android in $50-ish. But yeah, they're not common. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can get the one without the Salamander cover for about $50 still, if you know what to look for. Absolutely. You can get one for $50. I actually bought one or got one for, like I said, $750, won the bid, but he didn't deliver. So that happens. Okay, got to put this back in there. Got to get back in time. Oops. That's the Salamander Android sleeve. $145.59 with the first appearance of Salamander. But this one begs to get cracked open and pressed. I got warts and all. I don't need the story. Look at ads, whatever. It's not that big a priority to me. I'm trying to keep these in order here with the sleeves, because that's only at the time I bought this one, I believe. I can't remember if it's Hall. I think it might have been that Kirby one that there was only like 3 graded or something, and that was like the third high, or either that or that was the third highest graded or something of that book at the time I bought it. It's got something on it. The reason I bought this one, production artwork. I had the painted Jack Adler cover artwork to this. This does have a date stamp on it. It says 1968 in the logo there in blue. Date stamps were put on that. So that September, October 1968, Anthro #1, Howie Post cover and art and story. He wrote the story. I did not know Anthro to Crisis on Infinite Earth, but wonderful Howie Post. I've got the production painting to this, painted piece to this. And that's why I bought it. 9.8. 9. I got to looking. I want a copy of that because I've got the production artwork. Well, I found this for not much more than raw copies we're going for. So 9.0. Maybe about $50 I got for it. Maybe, I don't know. It's been years. Should have wrote it down. And look at this great Hot Wheels ad. 16 new California custom style Hot Wheels. So this is, they came out in 68. Look at this. This is some of the original Hot Wheels. In their colors and stuff. How about that? Elsie had all these, he and his brother. That's all they wanted was Hot Wheels for Christmas. Oh, put that back in the sleeve. I've shown these before. But they're, you know, some of the better, you know, some of the best books, I guess you could say. Production artwork to this cover is coming to Shadowhawk here pretty soon. We traded for it. I hadn't forgot you, buddy. Mike Grell and Vince Coletta art in the story. Mike Grell cover, David Reed's story. Batman number 289 from 1977, July 1977, Star Wars year. I just like the gray tone type. I don't know if you consider this gray tone. I would. Just an interesting cover. 8.5. I do have a rag copy of this, a reader copy of this with Ra's al Ghul. Just a cool cover. The villain, larger than life, holding Batman. And just the way they did this, and the grease pencil look or whatever, gray tone, partial gray tone cover. Don't know what you'd call it, but very interesting Mike Grell cover. Now, you can't find this label anymore. They don't do it. They used to, but they don't anymore. I gave $39.88 for this book. Amazing Spider-Man number 200. Double the size, double the thrills. That's what she said. Our 200th issue anniversary spectacular against the man who killed his Uncle Ben. The Spider versus the Burglar. So I got $40 for it. And you can't find it. This is a 9.2 in modern grade. Therefore, a short time they did modern grade labels. So if I got this relabeled, they would probably just give it a blue label. But yeah, kind of going back to the origin story, you know, capturing the killer of Uncle Ben there. You accumulate and forget about this stuff over time. Forgot you mad. Amazing Spider-Man 200. Never read it. It is a John Romita cover. Keith Pollard and Jim Mooney artwork. Origin retold. And you know, on this label, they don't even tell you it's a Romita cover, but you can tell that because it's by the style, but he's got his signature there. Didn't even tell you. That came out in, according to them, January 1980. Which it being January, and the copyright says 79 on the cover. Very misleading. Sometimes all the way up into April. Usually changed by March. We talked about all this before. This one's got a cracked case. I bought it cracked. Missing a piece. Somewhere I've got the piece. But now I can send this in, and for a lower fee, I can get it. And you know what? It probably, it doesn't look like it needs a pressing. Sometimes you can ask them, you know, do you think it needs a pressing? So, you know, Captain Britain appearance, Marvel Team Up number 66 from 1978. Chris Claremont story, John Byrne and David Hunt artwork. Again, CGC doesn't tell you who did the cover artwork. That's bullshit. Good thing my audio went out. That's why 9.4 crack case. I bought it. I bought this for like $14.50 cracked. Why wouldn't you? John Byrne. I mean, you basically know, okay, you're gonna have to get it reslabbed. Or look, man, I could crack this thing open right now. That'd make some of you very happy. Walkie talkie. But if I did that, I couldn't send it off to CGC and they go, oh, it got damaged. Okay, we'll re-slab it for less. 9.4 going up against the Arcane there. John Byrne artwork. Sorry, I don't know the cover artist, but it should tell you up there. But it doesn't. And they want to be the standard. CGC. That was nice, was it? Good night, all. Time for dinner, a shower, and some sleep. Hope to see everyone tomorrow. Yes. Have a good night, Shadow. And of course, I like this issue. I bought it off the stands for 35 cents. John Buscema cover. Carmen Infantino artwork inside. And again, the old label's 1978. It doesn't even tell you the cover artist. And it's not signed on there. I just happen to know I don't know who inked it. Maybe Dan Green. I'm not sure. Maybe John Buscema himself. But Avengers 178. The Beast. Collect what you like. You'll never go wrong. But it not having pertinent information up here is bull. I've never liked that about CGC. I do notice when I put it up against the light, because you have the black line here for the cover divide, some small inclusions. Probably if you took this out and got it pressed, you might get a higher grade. This is 9.2. Probably never would do that with this book. I really don't care. Some of this is replacement stuff for what I paid 35 cents for that I didn't have in my collection. And still don't have a floppy I can read. I'll get a complete collection of Avengers one day. One day. You wait and see. All right, we got a few more to go. Can you hang with me? We're not even at the 2-hour mark. Most of you have not. Justice #2. This came out in 2005. Alex Ross cover. I bought it because it was cheap. 9.8. Alex Ross cover. Just liked it. And I think I tried to sell this or something. Maybe I damaged it myself. It's cracked. It's cracked. I don't know. Yeah, you can kind of see the crack right here. Yeah. Anyway, pretty significant crack in that. Yeah, you can see that. So I have tried to sell some of these on eBay and they didn't survive me packaging them, which is bad, But, you might want to get it re-slab. Maybe not. It's more modern. May not be worth it re-slabbing, Now back to the Bronze Age with this one. I had a school folder when I was in 5th grade of this. So yeah, I love this issue because I had it as a school folder. Captain America and the Falcon, 177 from 1974. Steve Englehart story, John Romita cover. 8.5, Sal Buscema and Vince Colletta artwork inside. Nice Falcon cover, nice Cap cover. Going up against Lucifer, which was the guy that crippled Professor Xavier, if I'm not mistaken. 8.5, 1974. Yes. Brings back some good memories of those Marvel Mead. I guess they were Mead school supply binders, whatever. with the pockets. 9.8 on this. X-Men, let's see. I think I sewed this. Yep, and it cracked. So I got it back. I mean, the post office be rough. This is something I bought for maybe 25 bucks, I think, originally on eBay. Flip cover. It is a flip around cover. It's a Steve Epting and Greg Adams cover. 9.8. I got it because it was cheap, and I thought it was pretty cool. Have a flip cover. I did sell it and I had to refund them because it got cracked. Year of the Mutants. And I had never seen this book and wanted to know that it was out there, you know. Flip book. Flip books, consider that. You know, flip books might of the early 90s, right? You might put it like this and then flip it around. Of course, this one's upside down. You have to kind of do that with the other side. So, but if it's all upright, you know, you do this and then show it that way, you know. Helpful hints from the 4 o'clock shadow. This one I love. Did not pay that much for it. Rare book with this barcode, $89.45. Some of the early ones too are thicker, you know, and probably need to be cracked open and replace the microfiber that was put in them by CGC. You're supposed to replace that every 8 years. I'm overdue on some of these to actually be cracked open and re-slabbed so that it doesn't damage the book. They put that in there to absorb acid. But they've improved on their things since then. I think I would probably just, if I had to do that, I would just have CBCS, you know, do that. And a lot of people do that for different reasons. They'll buy them and they'll uncrack them and they'll send them. I've seen that on videos, you know, where they lost my Wi-Fi, you're back. Oh, well, you missed some good stuff. This will be a good one to replay. This is the rare DC Universe logo. They sold these things in like Toys R Us or KB Toys or different things in box sets. Not all of them had that. Some of the lowest print run DC books has the DC Universe logo on there. And I've got one in a 9.6 there. Tom Grummett artwork too. That's their female spoiler character, or the spoiler. Spoiler turns up the heat. Robin number 4. Not that Kia issue. Don't think it ever will be. It's just you know, that it has that DC Universe. I know how low that is, and these with this are rarely in this nice a shape. 9.6. That's why I bought it. Was the barcode, believe it or not. Chuck Dixon's story, Tom Grummett and Kay Chrisering, something Chrisering cover artwork. Very nice. Oh, let me put that back in there so that and these sleeves are nice. You can write what you gave for it. That's the way I do it. And, you know, this book might not even put this in this sleeve. It might be for something else that I've just cannibalized, you know. All right, a few more here. I mentioned this book. This is a book on skating on thin ice about drugs. Todd McFarlane cover. The Amazing Spider-Man Skating on Thin Ice. Anti-drug story, Electro appearance. Came out in 1990. Dwayne McDuffie, and he's passed away now. Big in animation, big in the milestone. This is a rare Canadian edition, though. It's Canadian. It's not the American version that they're more plentiful of. 9.6 in Canadian. I bought this one from Robert. Todd McFarlane cover. 9.6 Canadian edition, though. It's got the little RX down there. Rex. Rexall drugstore. So not that big older book, 1990, but Todd McFarlane cover, Spotty cover, you know. Might want to crack this thing open and, white sensitive cover, I would say. And get it signed by Todd, Canadian edition. Want a high grade copy to get signed? That's how about some Golden Age goodness? From September 1946, Captain Midnight number 44. Non-glossy cover, Fawcett publication. Blaze the sky trails of adventure with Captain Midnight, which was on the radio, had midnight decoding rings on TV, 6.0. Got that from Key Comics as well, Robert. You can see his little business card there. 6.0, Captain Midnight from, what year did I say? 1946. Wartime cover. Or right at the end of the war. How cool is that? Golden Age. This is a newer book. One of my favorite all-time covers. German edition. It's before they really took off with the reprinting issues, the facsimile issues. This reprints Avengers #1, German edition, gold foil, stamped. Came out in 1999. That I wasn't even collecting in 99, 2000. I was doing mission work. The only 2 years I haven't collected comics since I started. 9.8 though in German. Marvel first 60th anniversary, it says, stamped in gold there. But love the Kirby artwork, one of my favorite covers. But they're speaking German. 9.8. '60th anniversary at that time. I love the German dialogue. Yeah. Herr Loki. Love the gold version with the antenna on his shoulder there. Just a few more to show here. Again, if you want a head sketch done by me, maybe not this color one, but if you want a head sketch, go back Devil Flyer of one of my characters. Hero, villain, female, male, monster, creature. Love these early reprint books, fantasy masterpiece from the golden age of Marvel. Bill Everett cover, at least they told me that, 1967, 9.0, very fine there, man. It reproduces magnanimously. Marvel proudly presents the feature-length, most requested melee of the millennium. The original Submariner battles the original Human Torch exactly as it appeared in 1940. Plus another star-studded Captain America classic, Death Plays the Scales. I can tell this one needs a pressing. It is square bound. One of the few square bounds I have that is graded. That would be Golden Age Captain America story. Also, these far out fantasy favorites, Call Her Medusa, The Man in the Beehive. Well, that's going to be I believe The Man in the Beehive was Harry Pym or Ant-Man's first story. And I saw Droom, the Living Lizard, and this is your lizard representation, Lorenzo, for the day, although it'd be small. There's your lizard representation for the day. Reprint, early Marvel reprint book, later 60s, in the series, issue number 8, 25 center. Love these things, though. They reprinted that Golden Age stuff in color. Very early on. Statement of Provenance. This certificate that the comic book that is accompanied by this letter is from the Circle 8 collection discovered in Arizona in the early 1990s. Chamber Chills number 1, 1932. So this one comes with signed certificate of authenticity. There's another certificate that I have in that bag that goes with another production artwork Adler piece. But Circle 8 would put in grease pens. This grease pencil here, 15. It does not say up here that it's part of the Circle 8 collection, which sucks. And it's dusty, which really sucks. It's really dusty. Can you see that dust? Look at that dust on my shirt now. Wow. This thing needs, just the slab needs to be cleaned. And I guarantee you I had this sitting in there not by the door, but I mean, you know, it's amazing the dust that comes in from outside. But very nice 20 center 7.0. It is up there in the grease pencil. The thing about the Circle 8 collection is a Gil Kane cover here, by the way. Great logo. Ram Danger, Open Pit, Dragon Stalks by Night. 1972, November 1972. Harlan Ellison adaptation of this story here. Harlan Ellison. Gil Kane and Tom Palmer cover. Yeah. But they would have stacks of comics, and on the top, and apparently this was a top one, they would put, you know, what they wanted, whatever, 15, you know, Circle 8 collection, but they were in. So this is has some provenance to it. I'll make sure that gets in with that. And that's the last one. I got a Gargoyles preview book that's pretty thick there. You want to see it? Big heavy thing, order, you know, from Diamond. Previews book just to take up space. Non-glossy cover on these things. I don't think I've seen a non-glossy, but there you go. Gargoyles. Nice cover though. Disney Gargoyles, and then you flip it around this way. That's just kind of filling up space in this book. Wide. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. You know, that's some of what I wanted to show and talk about. You know, should you slab? Should you not slab? I don't know. Check into it. I checked into it. Watch Comic Tom on YouTube. You know, some older ones by now. Am I missing any comments? I want to make sure I'm not. Okay, not yet. Okay. I think we got maybe one person watching now. Maybe not. Who knows? But I enjoyed showing this stuff off. And I will pack it exactly the way I took it out because I don't have enough sleeves. I need to order some sleeves. But yeah, some of the nicer books from my collection. I'm not a big proponent on slabbing, but I've got, and you can get a box like this. This is a CGC graded box. There's other graded boxes too that are wide enough. Good for magazines too, although they make magazine. If you don't have a local comic book shop that doesn't really have good supplies, I'm sorry for you. Mine's not too bad, although I had to order my magazine to fulfill Devil Flyer. I had to order 100 magazine boards that they had to order off for. They did have the bags, they just didn't have the boards. Probably not a lot of call for that, you know. So I don't blame them. I'm willing to wait a couple weeks for them. As Jay Krieger is working this weekend, hopefully, on the midnight double page spread that will go in Devil Flyer. Very excited about that. We will be moving forward quite quickly in the next couple of months to get Devil Flyer and then all the other accoutrements done up. Dark Gift Comics is going to have to do, help me with the tapestry, of course. That was always the plan. I had to get the standee made up, and the RJ is going to help me with the hardback edition, artist edition. We will be renewing the campaign. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you have even a better week. And yeah, I don't know if I convinced anybody to slab or not to slab. I think it's expedient sometimes to buy a slab copy. There are videos on how to unslab them if you don't want them unslabbed, and you just kind of know what you're paying for. That one that I purchased, that crossover book, was the only example of, I would never do that again, where it's like, well, I have to send it off to be graded 9 point. Yeah, you've only got like 40 days to file on eBay. So they're in the clear. I can't even complain. I mean, I guess I can complain to them, and if they get enough complaints, maybe he'll get kicked off. But by then, I guarantee you they've made enough money. There are some cash grabs. Sorry for that use of phrasing, Cecil, but there are some, unscrupulous people on eBay. But aren't they everywhere? Drinking chocolate milk. Real treat for me. I got out in the snow and got a few provisions the other day. So I don't have an extensive, just maybe one box full. This is not all of them. This is most of them. Besides getting my Harley Quinn 8.5 graded, which I had nothing into, really. This was probably the last slab I bought. I showed you the static #1 that I actually won from somebody last year off of X, just for participating and putting my, and that was nice. First appearance of, I think that was a 9.4. Showed it yesterday. Sorry this was chopped up into 2 videos. But, que sera. Really didn't want to do this, to tell you the truth. Yeah, yesterday. But I've slept since then. Glad to know this Kirby. I mean, this book does not come up in the raw, in slab condition or anything. Headline Comics. And I was on the look and hunt for this book. There was another one, I think, after I bought this one, that came up that I've seen, but it wasn't in this great a shape. Even looking, it was unslabbed. 5.5, not a bad grade. You're just not going to get in some of these older books. You shouldn't expect to get 9.8s or even 9.0s. You might have to, a high grade might be a 6.5, 7.5 for something this old. It's amazing this stuff's still around. Anyway, like PBR says, later, Rex. Yeah, later. Keep collecting, and we'll see you tomorrow on the 4 o'clock shadow.